everybody, my name is Zach and welcome to another World of Tanks console tank review. And before we get started, I just want to emphasize on the word console here, as the Asian server on PC also received these tanks. So just keep that in mind, that everything you see is actually console exclusive. Okay, of course today we're going to be covering the Tier 8 medium premium tank, the Edelweiss. Alright, the Edelweiss, the new Japanese medium. Very unique. Loving the tank. We'll just read this over here on the consoleworldtanks.com website. An experimental medium tank with high speed and good firepower is designed by Themer, a genius engineer based on the battle experience of Belgian Gunther, a great hero of the First European War. After the outbreak of the Second European War, the tank was operated in Squad 7 of the Gallian Militia's 3rd Regiment and never saw production. Just a little bit before we go, thank you to Wargaming for including the voice actor of Susumu Chiba, the original voice actor for the Japanese adaptation. The anime adaptation of the tank. It's really unique. I kind of like this, that we finally have a unique international crew voices, as well as the Nameless being, the Nameless having its own unique female crew voice. We'll be going over that, of course, when we actually do the tank review on that. Well, that's enough of that. Let me bring up the comparison sheet over here. Alright, so we're going to be going over the comparison to, of course, the STA2. I actually had to generate all this, so yay console for not really having a great comparison website. Alright, so the tank comparison, of course, both tier 8s. Both Japan, both tanks are from Japan. The firepower, this is the overall base stat that we get on console, which just basically tell you what the overall effectiveness of your tank is. Unfortunately here, the STA2 obviously beats it out, 36 overall in the firepower. I'm not too sure exactly what it's supposed to be out of. Effectively, they don't give you any kind of what's your max stat. I'm assuming 100%. Or 100 is the max on this, but unfortunately the STA2 just beats it out at 36, as well as it being a little bit underwhelming in the DPM side. STA2 winning again slightly, but that doesn't mean that the Edelweiss can't really keep up. It's a really great tank to be able to move around in. You'll notice that in the gameplay. So, penetration on the standard round, 195, a little bit underwhelming, unfortunately. Can't do anything about that. It is, of course, an 8 caliber gun compared to the STA2 90, which would probably give it the extra penetration, but that kind of blows out the water with the Nameless 88mm as well. Although it does win in the rate of fire department here, it's only beating out the STA2 by slightly, and I kind of feel like you'll feel the difference. But again, that has to do with the caliber of the gun. 88. You rarely have a 90mm that will beat out the reload of an 88, and that kind of goes, the bigger your caliber, the longer your reload tends to be. I don't know why this one was highlighted, I forget. 7.5 seconds versus the 7.10 seconds the STA2 did, and maybe I confused that up and marked the wrong one. That's probably what it was, but we'll get. Of course, you can compare both. Again, there's only slight differences in this, and each of your crews can affect the overall stat of this, as well as the perks that you have. This is just the base stat that I can get from the information console provides. So, shell velocity. Of course, you can find this all on the tanks, World of Tanks detail screen whenever you decide to. But shell velocity, 850 meters per second on standard round, 1,050 meters a second on the premium round, and 850 on the HE. Unfortunately for the STA2 still has the upper hand in this case, where 853 by 3 meters a second, but you'll definitely notice it if you fire the premium round, the APCR, while the STA2 gets the standard, gets the premium round of the heat ammo. I didn't know why it decided to keep each different type of ammo being the same shell velocity. This was all I could find about it. I don't have the STA2 unfortunately, but this is what I could find as far as stats go. Max range, I'm guessing at 750 is when the bullet just disappears. I'm not really sure about that. I just had to include it because that was one of the stats included, I guess. Ammo capacity. 60 ammo in total here. Beats it out, the STA2 that only holds 50. Now, because of the penetration, you will not notice this right away, but you will bounce relatively more shots than you would in the STA2 because of penetration. So 60 rounds in this might seem like a good thing, but at the same time it can be one of those, well, it gives you more of a flexibility as far as what you want to load. AP, APCR, or HE. Being that it's an 88 HE really isn't all that. You can get a high roll, but I feel like doing the full damage on the standard AP is probably better, or just loading out the APCR. Aim time, the STA2 unfortunately beats out the Edelweiss very much. Just a fraction there at 2.10 seconds. Very, very slight difference, so you really won't notice if you have it. Dispersion, again, 0.37. Not really that much of a noticeable difference. So, gun elevation. The Edelweiss finally wins, and this actually has a unique... The gun, when it elevating, actually gets the extra 2 degrees, but it pops out of the actual, the turret head. The gun actually pops out. So it's a very unique looking tank already, but that makes it kind of look really cool. Gun depression, unfortunately, 8 degrees is the standard Japanese medium, but the STA2 gets 10 degrees. More noticeable, very flexible. Oops, skipping down too much. Mobility. Mobility, again, this is the overall stat that console provides. We have a 49 versus the STA2's 30. I believe it's 30. Yes. Anyway, that is just the overall stat that the tank gets as, I guess, compared to other tanks. Forward speed here is 60 kilometers per hour versus just a slight advantage on the max speed of the STA2. However, I feel like you notice it more because of the ground resistance on the Edelweiss than you would on the STA2. However, again, I don't own the STA2, so I can't really give a proper comparison as far as driving it, but are great medium tanks to run around with in flank. So reverse speed is actually the same, 20 kilometers, nothing new there. Gotta go forward faster, stay in reverse slower so they can hit you longer. Engine power, 800. Power to weight ratio, 25.03. Train resistance, of course, we have 0.6, 0.8, and 1.5. Clearly the reason why you can get up to a top speed, a top forward speed of around 55 comfortably on the Edelweiss than the STA2. Turret traverse, 38 degrees. The STA2 being 45 and 45 for the tank traverse, it clearly beats it out. One of the things you have to understand is it doesn't turn as fast as you'd want to, but it does turn great for a medium tank. I think this is fairly average, actually. I'm not too sure if it beats out some tanks, it loses out to some. It's very, as far as I can tell, in between. Armor, of course. The armor is actually questionable here, usable. Versus the STA2, if you have the STA1, it's roughly the same. Japanese mediums don't tend to have really good armor. They tend to absorb everything you shoot at them, and then they, miraculously bounce off. You can do that a lot more in the Edelweiss than you can in the STA2. We have the armor and turret stats, and this is the console version versus the PC version that I will, if you want, I believe Quickie Baby or a few other people have also released their comparison or tank reviews of this tank. Hull armor in the front, 120, 60, 60, 60 on the side, 60 on the rear. Clearly beating out the STA2 again. The angles on the Edelweiss is very useful. You can use it. The turret armor, 120 in the front, 80 on the side, 60 at the rear. Really good for a medium, especially for the Japanese. They have really unique angles for it. Health, unfortunately, just barely loses out to the STA2. Can't do anything about that, but 20 hit points. Might make you go longer in the STA2. Not as much in the Edelweiss, but again, they are medium tanks. They're not meant to go trading blows with other tanks. You get in, take your shot, get out. That's the way you use it, fortunately for you. Concealment, this is the stats you get as well on the tanks in the detail screen on console. Stationary and moving for the STA2, unfortunately, beats it out. Better camo. View range you get better with the Edelweiss, 390, very good. Because the tanks are relatively new, suggest putting on coated optics, getting it up to like around 440 is probably your best bet. As far as equipment goes, I do recommend that because you don't have any effective crew perks to give you any view range. This is definitely one of the things I'd recommend as one of them. You don't have to use it, but I recommend it. Get up the view range on your tank because if you're grinding out the crew captain, that's actually one of the things you want to improve on. Radio range on the Edelweiss again beats that out with 750. One of the more unique things I like about this Edelweiss and the STA2, apparently I did not know this, you get really low fire percentage chance. 10%. So this means if you decide you want to substitute out the fire extinguisher with an additional med kit or an additional repair kit that I know some people have been suggesting more, just use 2 repair kits. Or even if you want to go for broke and go for the consumable, the onigiri, this is completely up to you. Very low fire chance, so it gives you more of an option. You can drop that fire extinguisher. You get lit on fire. There's nothing I can do about it. There are shots that will just set you on fire. RNG. Now here's where the interesting part comes out. People are going to probably not notice this from there. This is what the World of Tanks console portal actually says. The base value price for these tanks are 7,700 gold versus the STA2 7,400 gold. Between the two, the 300 gold difference, personally I like the Edelweiss, and since between the two it's still a crew trainer for me. There is probably, I don't necessarily think that there's a difference as far as your choice, but playstyle, I like the Edelweiss versus the STA2. It just moves a lot around more. I think it's worth it because it comes with World of Tanks console's first international crew voice, being that it's a male. It's very unique at the moment. Maybe when the international crew voices come around and you decide, well, they all sound the same and could probably go for that. But as far as I can tell, for the PC version, their international crew voices and the crew voices for this tank specifically, Tank Commander, is still very unique and unique look. So that is completely you decide to pick the STA2 or the Edelweiss. Again, I recommend the Edelweiss because of the way the character looks, or the commander looks. Shell cost should have probably been up where the ammo was, but I just ran down trying to get as much information as possible. 350 is your base AP round. For the base AP round on the Edelweiss, 380 for the STA2. Premium ammo is the same between both at 4,400. HE ammo, slight variance, 90. I don't know why that costs less. Really, really confusing. 240 versus the 280 for the Edelweiss. Very small differences this tank is meant. One of the things that PC, I don't know exactly, give out is World of Tanks console portal actually gives you the premium bonuses that you can acquire for each tank. This way you know, well, I can use this tank for silver or I can use this tank for XP. This might be the deciding factor for most people in getting the tank. Of course, I'm not comparing this to the SDA Black Edition. That thing gets 50% silver and 50% experience bonus. Unfortunately, I don't know why. For the extra money, might as well earn it. You get 50% silver on both tanks. All tier 8 premiums are most likely going to be your silver grinders. Not really used for much. But the STA2 unfortunately beats it out in having a 15% XP bonus on your commander versus the 10% experience that you get on the Edelweiss. This might be the deciding factor as far as tanks for you choosing. Completely up to you. Again, there's nothing I can help you on there. Personally, even though the stats seem differently, I would choose the Edelweiss just because of the uniqueness at the moment. That's why I would buy it. Whether or not you decide on buying it is completely up to you. But again, this is just a tank review for it, so maybe or not you decide at the end of it if you think it's worth it. Alright, so we have that covered. Let's go stick ourselves in the gameplay. And this was actually from a live stream, so I'm going to have to scoot here. This is from the live stream, so enjoy for what you can. I'll be trying to commentate out of it. So, we're on South Coast. This was, I think, my 10th or 12th battle in the tank. not exactly sure on the specifics. I know I'd been running the tank, trying to get a good game in for the tank review. You be the judge of how this one goes. So I'm actually platooned up with my buddy Pop the Head, and I believe he's in his STA 1. Yes, okay. So going through this, I was like, get the mobility. Let's check out this tank. Rolling up the hill. Figure get a spot across. It's a medium tank. Very good climbing. Ground resistance there, very noticeable. And the Nameless decides to pop out. Well, that one was weird. Take a fire. What the? I guess the artillery blind fired. I clearly fired after he had shot because that shot was midair when I fired. Very, very puzzling as far as, I guess, very lucky. Congratulations on the great guess. So, in the middle of this, I was actually trying to get a stat from the worldoftanks.info.net website. For some reason, on the first night of me playing these tanks, my WN8 was like straight through the roof, but it wasn't registering anything for either of the tanks, the Nameless or the Edelweiss, and I don't know why, but it had a ridiculous overall stat. So you guys can probably go check that out on Xeno World of Tanks console on Facebook if you can. So let's keep going. Clearly, the T-28, very slow, lumbering, deciding I want to go in and take the shot at it. But using the standard round, and of course that's not going to pen from that distance. But, you know, hey, might as well take a shot at it. Will he turn? Come on, just a little bit more. That armor. Very good frontally. T-28, of course. Keep going. Of course, my Connect decides to listen at the wrong time, so I had to actually stop and be like, shut up, get away. It's going back and forth. Damn Connect. Didn't like listen. So, trying to take a shot right over into the turret. The commander's hatch on the top of it. Not really having any luck. Deciding, you know what? I'll just move up. And a quick side note on this as well. My tank commander in this had no perks. This was literally one of the very few. This was one of the first couple games, so I didn't even have any perks on this. So let me just slide this up here quick over the battle feed. This is actually exactly what it was. What were the base stats? My crew was still a rank 1. I was basically using Pop the Head as kind of my shield because he had 6 cents on his STA 1. Figure might as well just, hey, if you get spotted, let me know. That's all I need. So even up until this point, none of us had gotten spotted. I was starting to look for a side shot on the T-28 or the Nameless. They had been stuck inside. There's like a little rink over there. Trying to get into a position where I could get side shots into them. Still not detected. And I actually managed to snipe from that far. I was actually really surprised on that one. I didn't think it was actually going to go in. But, hey, who complaining? RNG it giveth, RNG taketh. So, still trying to get a shot. The Nameless poking in and out. Covering his front. Very good heavy tank. Quite a few people, actually, were going through the tanks. Not very much. Oh, trying to take a snapshot. Can definitely tell the .38 dispersion on that took, or the aiming time not really getting in there, but decided to take a shot anyway. Still missing on this T-28. You know what? I give up. Screw you, T-28. I'll come back to you later. See if I can get somebody else. At this point, my team was pretty much getting dwindled down. It was just one of those nights I was like, alright, well, you know, I'm probably not going to get it, but I got to grind through it, get a good game in. Who knows, maybe we could get it. So decide, you know what, screw it. My team's staying back too much. Time to take this tank, see what it can do up close and personal. First test subject, the T-28. Not very smart considering his gun could be pointing my way, but let's see if he is poking out. I don't remember. Yep. Trying to take out the lower plate. Very good frontal armor there. Not going to go through easy with the 88. And taking out the Nameless. Haha. There can only be one. You're the other. Decided to load the APCR, but you started charging. I just decided to track him. Let Pop the Head get it, and then I changed my mind. He was kind of like, why? Just why? Definitely he's trying to get it a little bit in there. Good shot into the side of the Ag Panther. Didn't even get detected. Keeps moving back and forth, and then I get detected. Bounces off the gun, of course. I think he gets a shot in right there, but the tracks on the side eater, which is actually very unique compared to the between the two. You will get more tracking shots or shots eaten for your Edelweiss than you will in the Nameless. I'm pointing that out now, even though you'll clearly see it in the gameplays that I have to show for the Nameless. Just a quick pointer there. Turn it to the side. So tried to go help the IS-3. He's getting surrounded by 3 tanks. Tried helping as much as possible, but I don't want to go in there just to die. Oh, and there's one of those ricochets. He actually hit off the top of the tank. That was actually very unique there. I don't rarely see those, but hey, didn't kill me. So decide, you know what? Tiger 1's more ferocious. That 88mm gun. I think he's fully upgraded here. Gotta take him out. Focus. T95E2 rushing in. And at this point, Pop the Head was right behind me. I was like, just focus the Tiger 1. We need to take him out. But I have a lot better mobility, I suppose, in this. Because he was fully upgraded in it. So we managed to keep up. Focusing down the Tiger. The artillery comes in and misses right over. T95E2 is definitely focusing me. Got that new tank syndrome. Everybody gets it. See the new tank, must kill the new tank. Of course, I had to leave Pop for a second, but he managed to get in there. Tried to take him out with a ram. Too lightly armored against the T95E2. Definitely not useful, but we still managed to take out the T95E2. Decided, whoa, that was actually the M53 artillery, and snapshot again to the Ag Panther. He barely missed me, but I was like, okay, we're going to go back. Unfortunately for us, the T34 decided to... Or was it the T29? I'm not sure. Let's see if it pans over again. Oh, and then that is the T34, yes. Okay, so he got the shot, and again, one of the things I pointed out is that your tracks, the side armor, the side skirt, can definitely be useful to have absorb heat shells, all that. They're great. He missed a shot, and so did their artillery. Make use, man. Auto-aiming, of course, one of my sickly abilities I don't like, but I end up using more than I want to. Can I get the kill? Come on. Nice! Popped. Very good. So we were trying to move around, trying to get out of the artillery, and he got splashed there. The M53-55 was actually not fully upgraded. As you see, he just splashed them right there. And unfortunately for Pop, I could do nothing about this. 3, 2, 1, kaboom. Oh, wait, no. Counted wrong. There you go. A little bit ahead of my time, but, he died. It's the important part there. Now, 2v2. Great job to the team. They managed to hold out. Popped. We managed to get it back in there. Taking out 4 of their tanks. T95 and an M53 versus myself, and I believe that was the Lorraine tier 7. We're actually doing fairly decent. No, it's Terry. There's Terry. We're doing very decent, but again, the T95, very heavily armored, was on 50% health. So it seemed anyway. That's not a tank that I want to face frontally, especially in lightly armored, and especially for a one-shot. The fully upgraded T95 gets the 750 Alpha 150mm gun. I'm not trying to go against a behemoth in a, baby tank, I guess. As far as comparatively goes, anyway. So, Lorraine, trying his best, moving around. I decide, well, I'm going to scurry around the backside, trying to get to wherever the artillery is. Not realizing that Pop was shouting at me the entire time on that, saying, hey, avoid the circle. He's over on C3. I said, well, okay, I'll avoid the circle, but how do you know he's on C3? Because that's where he shot me from. I was like, oh yeah, I forgot about that. Oh, I thought it was the French artillery. Was that I think it was the M12. Am I wrong on artillery? I might be wrong. If I am, it's very horrible, and I've been giving someone a different tank that's not even in this game credit. I think he dies right around here, though. Does he? M53, I gotta give him credit. He was doing really well. So, pull around the corner. Figured the artillery was gonna be on the beach. Not lucky enough. Oh, it was the M4043. My apologies, my friend. I really didn't realize that until the end. So, get a quick shot into it. Good enough high roll, 235. Well, actually, no, that's a low roll. 240 is the average. A little bit of low roll, but by 5. Quickly pop up. Pop was screaming because he was gasping for air because I popped up, got a quick shot in before he could turn around, pointed his gun at me, and I was like, okay, time to move across. And stop. T95. Definitely detected. Move! He was definitely waiting for me. So, figured, you know what, can't do it. He's on the bottom, over on D7, D6, sorry. Definitely have to move up a little bit. You know what, can't do anything about that. Try to get more into a position, take advantage of his slow lumbering speed. I believe of the 18 kilometers that it gets. Not too sure, but going uphill, it's definitely not going to go that. Might get 5. So, quick mobility of the Edelweiss, trying to get back into their flag. Trying to get up into a position where I can either shoot down on top of the T95 into the commander's hatch, or completely outflank it. And credit where credit is due. He obviously noticed what I was going to do, thought ahead. T95 was having a great game, thought ahead, decided to start moving up there while I was making my way around. I give him credit for that. That was completely unexpected. I came around, he was waiting in a position to be able to spot me. Already, I think he was... I underestimate the T95 sometimes. It actually does turn a lot faster. He was already mid-turn, and I was like, nope, not gonna pull back. It would be death waiting from above. Well, I'm the buff guy, so I'd be death waiting from below? Yeah, waiting from below. So, trying to get the detection, trying to get out of his view range so he couldn't see me. Oh, cool, he's gonna go into the flag, figured I was undetected. I'm gonna try to make a spot all the way back around. Can I do it before the T95 gets me? Come on. So by this time, I'm pretty sure I'm out of his, I've disappeared from his map. He can't see me. We don't have that mod pack, I think. The Quickie Baby releases. It'd be very good to have on console, to where it marks the last location that your enemy was spotted at. So it'd be very handy. Hint at it, Wargaming, just saying. So, keep moving forward. Thought he was going to go back down. What's he going to do? T95. Still pretty slow. And... Boing! Pops up right at the same time. I was like, nope. Dodge. Move, man. Don't stay there. Derps it right into the ground. I could actually hear him firing, unfortunately, because I have the volume lowered for the actual video. You won't be able to hear it, but during that time I actually heard when he fired, so I was like, okay, cool, I got a couple seconds, I can go back up. What am I going to do? Circle him around? Is he going to come after me? He actually decided on coming after me. So, before I even decided, you know what? Before I even, go back into death, trying to face off against a T95 head on, let's go around. I'll be able to get a rear shot into him, and if he's facing me, he'll spot me. I can spin right back around, disappear off the map, and go. Unfortunately, if no one's been paying attention throughout this entire monologue, I guess, no one's noticed the time. Quickly dwindling down, and Popped actually had to point this out to me. I was like, oh, crap. Starting to run down. Gonna have to start going through it. Got a minute and 10 seconds starting now. Now, the Edelweiss has a really good reload. Pointed that out in the tank comparison between the SDA2. But is it good enough to out DPM the timer itself against a T95 that is at 50% health? So, decided to go all the way around, hopefully trying to outmaneuver the T95. Can I do it? Making my way. Hopefully he was it, and he's right there in the open. Take a quick pot shot. Figured I was gonna die. Might as well move up. And for some reason, I don't know what the gun elevation on is, but I assume he had a shot. He did not take it. I don't know if he was giving me this game, but he did not take this at all. He gave up. Trying to get out of his way. Still turning. He finally starts moving forward. Still doing nothing. Why are you not firing? Why have you not won? He thought I was going to go into the back. Quickly decide. Pull to the right. Use the handbrake. Get out of this thing. And that's right. Got you now. Can I beat the clock? 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I'm just gonna pause this there because the audio from this point on was actually the audio from the stream, and that part I can actually show or let you guys listen to. Here's the actual reaction for a zero skill crew training within the first couple games that I've played in this tank.
Fucking clock. Oh my god.
Oh my god, dude.
Oh my god.
I swear to the fucking Lord, that is hilarious. I literally just got a freaking... Oh my god, dude. And I got the ace up. I made 104,000 off of that, even after firing all the premium, and a bonus 100,000 for the Edelweiss ace.
Dude.
GG. Hell yeah, dude.
Oh, that's the game. That's the fucking game.
I'm getting...
Oh my lord.
I'm getting message after message.
From the enemy team or
I have no idea. Sorry for the profanity, but that was the actual reaction after that game. We were pretty much dying of laughter for a good 5 minutes. But let's see if we can continue through this review. So this game was very fun, quite exhilarating, high caliber for 4,577 damage. My ace tanker in this, a Radley Walters, Devastator for 7 kills, Top Gun for 6, 22 or 23 pens, I don't know, because for some reason it doesn't register the last pen. 880 damage blocked. Like I said, you can get some ricochets if you really try. It was very unique. What else? This tank is literally made for profiting. There's nothing else I can point out that would probably not emphasize this. This tank is made for profit. As long as you keep your premium ammo firing to a minimum, you can make a great amount of profit. Comparably to most tanks that you don't necessarily, and I don't know, maybe that's just my preference or yours, this tank makes money. And I cannot emphasize that enough compared to most tanks. So we can definitely see here 110,451 silver, or 461 silver earned, with a 1.5 premium multiplier because I run a premium count. 53,800 in ammo. And this is mostly coming down to the fact that I expended a lot of premium ammo, and I try not to use my premium ammo even though I have it. And actually the final round of that game was fired with an AP round. I was actually betting on losing that game, and I even told Pop, and he was like, just take your time, take it easy, breathe. Tell that to the heart that was beating when you were playing. Operations, of course, I completed the Edelweiss ASOP. This was I believe, I'd probably say this is around 20 games or so. I just gotten the 30,000 experience you need to complete the ASOP. 3,000 in supplies because I believe did I use the repair kit or the med kit? I don't remember. I'm not really sure on which one. Repairs, only 4,315. So again, this tank actually costs very, very minimal to repair as far as the total damage done to your tank. And I believe I was at 45% health. I was at 45% health, so that's definitely one thing to consider. If it only costs about 10,000 to fully repair the tank, if that, you can definitely make it, even if you do fire more premiums or carry more premium rounds on this tank. 2,082 base experience on this. Again, it was blowing out of my mind that I even got this. 8 tank destroyed, and popped the head right below me for the 1,043 experience that he did. Very good. So let's see if we can roll. So here we have the efficiency screen, taking out the T28, the Nameless, the SU-152 with 215 damage dealt to it, one shot, and I think Pop finished him off, I'm not too sure. It's either Pop to the IS-3. The M53, 55 artillery down below, got him as well, 2 shots, 450. T-34, 2 shots, 461, so obviously one of those was an actual pen, the other one was the killing shot. J-Panther, 2 shots, 369, again, 1 damaging, 1 pen. Tiger 1, 4 shots, 763. I don't remember, yeah, I finished him off, so definitely. T95E2, again, 431. And again, at the end of this, you'll probably see the message that I sent to him. Very, very good play from CFL. Chopper, I give you all the credit. I was a little bit puzzled about the ending, about how you didn't shoot, but I figured you probably thought you had it in the bag, and that's one of those disappointing moments that even I myself don't like experiencing. And again, can't emphasize it enough. CFL Chopper, if you ever watch this video for whatever reason, great game. I can only wish you the best on this. This was really a good comeback. You played a really good final round, and the message I sent to you is also there. Alright, well, thank you for joining this tank review. I know it's a bit long, didn't intend for it, but that video actually was long itself. I'll try to cut out some parts while I can. Tell me what you think. I personally think the Edelweiss is quite worth it. It might be different in your case. Clearly, off the bat, there's a few things you can point out. The unique international crew voice, the very unique looking design of the tank. Thank you, Wargaming. And the decent enough stats of the tank to not be as overpowered as the PC version clearly seem to be. Actually, I think as far as the Edelweiss case returned, they were actually very similar. Not sure that there was that much of a difference, but they do play a little bit differently. You might have a better time in it than I did. That was my ace tanker game for it, and still trying to grind through the Nameless. Next up, of course, for the tank reviews will be the Nameless. Looking forward to do that. If you like anything I do, please hit the subscribe button down below. Thank you for your time, and I'll see you again.